Oh, hello everyone. I hope you're all well. It's Susie here from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, being kind to your family and friends, being kind to your beautiful pussycats, your beautiful dogs, beautiful animals, whatever you do have, and also just being kind to people in the world just to make this a better world. Today I'm doing a review on, excuse me, Sologenic, and just want to go through that. I don't really like this one actually. I think they're riding on the coattails of Ripple, to be perfectly honest, and I just feel like it was a bit of a cash play, and they certainly got it. It looks like they raised 100 mil, 120 mil according to different reports. So sometimes you look at different reports and you get different data, which is always very annoying in the crypto world. It wouldn't happen in professional markets like the fiat world, but certainly in the crypto world you do get varying data sources and different data stats, unfortunately. So Sologenic is the project's name. It's the token is Solo, S-O-L-O. It is open source and it's on Ripple's platform, distributed ledger technology. Obviously I don't have a problem with Ripple's technology. It looks like it was founded in 2018. Looks like it's been established in Estonia because they have a very strong link with the cryptocurrency exchange there. No staking. Obviously the token is Solo. It's on the XRP ledger. It is a fixed supply. There is coin burn. There is some escrow, but it's not very clear. There is some lockup, but not for all the tokens. I wouldn't call this a portfolio investment or a trading investment. It's in the industry of fiat products on crypto exchanges. They don't have any clients. The partnership is with CoinField, which is an exchange, a very, very small exchange in Estonia, very undercapitalized, not many clients, doesn't have any professional investors or any professionals on it. The amount, it looks like they issued 100 mil or potentially 120 mil. We don't actually know the circulating supply, which is a bit of a problem as well. It's not on any of the stats that I was looking at or any of the resources. Even in Crunchbase, it's not on that either. The office, it looks like it's in Estonia. No business income. I wouldn't say it's best of breed in the sector. Malicious attacks, certainly not with Ripple's technology, but potentially with the Solo project itself. And I wouldn't say this has got any utility whatsoever. So as you can tell, I don't really like this token. It's something I wouldn't invest in. I don't see it as a portfolio investment or a trading investment, just simply because of the lack of liquidity in Solo itself. And the point is that it's on very, very small, undercapitalized, very small exchanges like CoinField, which wouldn't have many clients. It would be undercapitalized. Again, the bid offer spread on Solo, I wouldn't call that liquid, and again, there wouldn't be much volume on it either. So I do have a problem with this this whole project. Even though it's got bits of VIN behind it, I can't help but feel this is a cash grab, to be perfectly honest with you. So what is Sologenic? Sologenic is supposedly introducing a sophisticated ecosystem that facilitates users with investing, trading, on-demand tokenization of assets such as stocks, exchange-traded funds, and fiat on top of the XRP ledger. Now the thing is, why wouldn't you just go directly to the stock market or the ETF market or the fiat market? Because obviously introducing Solo causes another added risk to the investor or the trader, and also another added risk is being on the cryptocurrency exchange, the small cryptocurrency exchange that they're aligned to, which is not great, the one in Estonia, which is CoinField. So there's a lot of risk here just by doing what they're trying to do. Plus they're saying that the Solo token itself, which is the native token of Sologenic ecosystem, is going to be used for market making and provide liquidity. Well, seriously, this is not a liquid token. It's on an exchange that's very small. It barely has any clients. When we talk about liquidity, we're talking about a bid offer spread being really, really tight. No gap at all, like XRP, for example, which has massive liquidities on many, many exchanges, crypto exchanges, and it's on some of the biggest exchanges. And I don't know why they didn't use XRP rather than Solo itself, but clearly they use Solo because, you know, to me it smells like it's just a cash grab. Honestly, I really believe that. just because they're using Ripple technology, it's no big deal. The thing is, they're trying to advertise that Solo itself is liquid because it's on XRP's platform, Ripple's platform, but the reality is it's not. Okay, the token itself is not liquid, and they can't run off the coattails of Ripple and XRP and say it's liquid because XRP is liquid. You see what I'm saying? And I just feel that the way this is written in terms of the white paper is not being truly honest. It's almost saying to the end investor that Solo is liquid because we're on Ripple's technology, and Ripple's technology has XRP. Okay, so what I want to do say here straight up is liquidity and volume are completely different. And I'll give you an example of this. You could have 100 million on the buy side and 150 million on the offer side. But if the sell side wants to sell at 15 cents and the buyers want to buy at 10 cents, nothing gets traded. So the bid offer spread is 10 cents and 15. So the spread is 5 cents, right? 15 minus 10, the spread is 5 cents. That shows there's no liquidity, okay? And the wider that gap, the less liquid the token is, or whatever it might be, okay, or the coin. So, you know, when you trade XRP on the US exchanges, it's so liquid you barely pay anything. You know, you might pay 0.00001 XRP, which is hardly anything, right? It's not even a cent, okay, US. It's probably, you know, like not even a tenth, it's 1,000 of a cent or something. With Solo, it's not liquid, full stop. And the way they've written the white paper, they're implying that Solo is liquid when it's not, okay? So that really annoys me very much. You know, they say Solo's tokens are issued on the XRP ledger network, allowing liquidity to be moved instantly, and that's just not true, okay? Solo itself is not liquid. Certainly XRP is in the Ripple technology, but Solo's project is actually built on top of the Ripple technology with the coin and token, and the token is the one that's going to be making markets with the fiat market, the stock market, and the ETF market. So say they're going to have stock, you know, Apple, they're going to have a bid offer spread between Solo and Apple, and this doesn't make sense because the cryptocurrency markets are open on the weekend and the fiat market's not open on the weekend. So there's all this gapping risk that, you know, this white paper talks nothing about as well, and it's not practical in real markets, right? It's just not practical at all, and it's just not going to work, okay? Absolutely not. And it's just a cash grab, and the silly investors out there have actually paid 25 cents for this ICO, which is way too expensive for what it is, because it's riding off the coattails of Ripple, okay? Ripple's technology. So, you know, to me, it's almost, I have to say, it's almost verging on a scam because it's not telling people the truth, okay? It's implying that Solo is liquid when it's not actually liquid, and riding on the coattails of Ripple, as I said. So, you know, again, buyer beware. There's so many, you know, these white papers are written to get your money, and effectively they're not actually audited, okay? They're not audited, and always remember that. They're written to get your money, okay? And that's pretty much it. So Solo itself is not liquid. It's on an unheard exchange, Coinfield in Estonia, where you'd have to, you know, you as an investor, you're going to have no rights, you know, if you lose your money or whatever. It's not licensed like Gemini or Coinbase with the Security Exchange Commission in the US. It's not insured, and basically, you know, you're going to be dealing on a very, very small exchange with no liquidity and hardly any clients, and potentially a very undercapitalized exchange. There's a lot of risks within this project, and it's just a risk that I wouldn't take on. And why wouldn't an investor go direct to the stock market, or, you know, buy ETFs directly from the stock market, or buy fiat directly from, you know, foreign exchange trading platforms, rather than going through you know, the Sologenic project. It doesn't make sense because the crypto market's open on the weekend and the fiat markets are not open on the weekend. And how would they provide a market on the weekend when the fiat markets and stock markets are not open on the weekend? You know, a lot happens on the weekend. You have huge gapping risk with stock markets, potentially because they close on Friday night, and you know, they're not open until Monday, right? So they talk about, you know, transparency, asset compliance, community. I mean, that's all a given, okay, with any cryptocurrency technology. There's nothing new there. And basically, you know, then they talk about this utility token being listed on global crypto exchanges starting Q1 2020. Well, the thing is, it's not listed on hardly any crypto exchanges. And then they talk about you know, a stable coin being backed by fiat or stocks. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, there's not enough detail in this white paper about the stable coins and what are they, and you know, how are they going to determine price and all this sort of things. So and then it goes on to say that they employ market making and liquidity providing. I mean, honestly, you know, where is it? You know, how do they do that? Again, it doesn't. It's all hearsay, and again, they don't even describe, you know, how they're going to do that. And often with a lot of these white papers, they're lacking in detail, absolutely pathetic. And it's all there to, you know, to basically pull the wool over your eyes to get your money, basically. There's no information on this at all. You know, Coinfield, you know, isn't a centralized exchange, but it's very, very unknown. And honestly, it's just, you know, it barely has any clients. And then they talk about a decentralized exchange. Well, decentralized exchange, look at centralized and decentralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges have even worse liquidity generally as a rule. Okay, so you know, I have a lot of problem with this. The bottom line is Solo is not liquid. It's a massive negative in terms of the project, and trying to make a market between Solo and other fiat markets is just not practical, given the different time zones, given the different times that different markets are open, given that Solo is not liquid or whatever, and they're implying that it is because of using Ripple's technology and XRP, okay? And then to top it off, they're going to give you a Solo card, big deal. Just to, you know, and then they're going to give you a liquidity provider reward program, you know, rewards. And again, it's not clear how they're going to do that. And you know, seriously, it's just a joke. It's not known. And then they talk about it having the liquidity, so having the liquidity of XRP. You know, XRP's got an incredible profile, and they've just used XRP and Ripple, you know, to get on, to get the profile, right? Because, you know, Ripple and XRP are really heavily followed, okay? So they've used them to get the profile, and certainly they've got bits of in there as well. So it's not a sophisticated ecosystem. You know, when you look at their GitHub, it's pathetic. Honestly, they've hardly done anything in the GitHub. Absolutely pathetic. It's not a bridge between other asset classes and stocks and ETFs. And it's not even tradable properly, okay? A liquid, right? Then they're saying we're going to offer discount fees. You know, if you go, you know, onto Coinfield, every exchange out there is offering discount fees, right? There's more than 8,000 national exchanges and regional exchanges in the world, and every exchange is offering for competition discounted fees to try and get more and more clients. An exchange in Estonia is just not going to do it, okay? Absolutely not. Plus, not only that, there's a lot of crypto cards, okay? There's a lot of competition within crypto cards and debit cards and everything. So this is nothing new. This is not any comparative advantage, whatever. I mean, then it says Sologenic reduced the cost, friction, and complexity of trading traditional and traditional trading of asset classes and transferring assets by creating simple, fast, and secure investment infrastructure tailored for the mod. And I mean, that's garbage, because it actually, using Sologenic on supposedly the cryptocurrency platform they've got with Ripple, and then doing it through the Coinfield exchange actually increases the end investor's risk more so, because you have to go through, obviously, Sologenic to, say, an Apple market, which, you know, how do they get that Apple market? How do they get the spread between Sologenic and Apple, right? And then you've got to pay the bid offer spread on Sologenic, you've got to pay the bid offer spread on Apple, then you're putting it through XRP's platform and Ripple. This thing doesn't make sense, okay? You know, they talk about providing liquidity through this liquidity provider reward program, but then how do they provide the liquidity? Who's going to give them the liquidity? Because certainly Solo, is not going to provide that liquidity. Okay, they say they've got access to global stock markets. What are they? You know, what stock markets they got access to, and how are they determining the price of a stock when it's actually closed on the weekend and the cryptocurrency market is open on the weekend? This is just, you know, complete garbology, I've got to say. Then they talk about Sologenic aims to create a decentralized trading environment where users have the complete ownership of their crypto assets. Decentralized exchanges do very little volume, okay? Extremely little volume compared to centralized exchanges. Okay, and then they talk about private keys, big deal. Then they say you're not trading with any middlemen. Well, the thing is, trading with Sologenic, you are trading with a middleman, because you're going from, say, the stock exchange through to a cryptocurrency exchange, then Sologenic, and so you are, Sologenic's actually creating the middleman. Not, you know, if you go direct to the exchange, you can buy stocks yourself directly through the exchange yourself, right? So going through Sologenic, you're actually creating a middleman, okay? And then it talks about setting up a crypto card for Solo holders, you know, to use their crypto assets for daily expenditure. I mean, ATM withdrawals. Who's going to take Solo cards ATM withdrawals? I mean, what's the bank behind this? You know what I'm saying? How do you use their card? It doesn't talk about, you know, any partnerships with banks or, you know, any, you know, Amazon or anyone. So again, you know, it's all hearsay. This is a white paper that's not audited, and it's all hearsay, okay? And, you know, it's just absolute bunkum, right? You know, it doesn't provide extra liquidity. It actually causes more risks, okay? Minimal exchange, not liquid, massive competition. I don't think it's viable at all. I think, a matter of fact, the price of Solo will continue to go down. Too much competition. You know, we know about the technology of Ripple. I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with the technology of Solo. Particularly when they're trying to make prices between fiat markets and cryptocurrency markets, and one's open and the other one isn't. How do they do that? And particularly with a coin, a token that's not even liquid, okay? You know, and then, you know, CoinField's role is like any other exchange. They're going to do their KYC and their AML, right? But technically they don't even need to do that because they're in Estonia, right? This is just to make this look good in terms of the white paper. You know, again, you know, that it's going to have these markets. They're building the infrastructure to work out, you know, where the US is, you know, where Apple is, where Tesla is, but it's their own market, you know. And the thing is, you know, again, this brings in more risk to the end investor, because, you know, how do they again make this market on the weekend when Apple's closed and Tesla's closed? You know, I mean, it's just bullshit. You know, it's a garbology, I have to say, right? So again, there's no way I would be investing in a small, you know, putting money into a small exchange and buying Solo coins / tokens, okay? It just doesn't make sense, and it's not workable. It's just that simple. You know, as I said, they don't talk about enough of this liquidity provider. Who is going to provide the liquidity? Because the coin is not liquid, okay? Plus, we've seen in fiat markets, they're incredibly volatile. How do they price that volatility in those markets? They're just not going to have that expertise to do that. Who's doing that? Who makes those markets within Solo? Nothing's spoken about that, and that is market and price risk, which they expect the end investor to take on, which is going to give the end investor more market and price risk, rather than going directly to the stock market to buy stocks or ETFs, or going directly to the foreign exchange market and buying foreign exchange. Okay, there's a lot of retail foreign exchange platforms that people can trade foreign exchange directly without the risk of going from foreign exchange to the crypto exchange to the crypto CoinField exchange to buy Solo, to buy foreign exchange. It doesn't make sense. Matter of fact, you know, if the client was doing this, they're paying spreads everywhere and more additional costs, and it's not cheaper. It's actually going to be more expensive, and there's going to be more price risk. So I just don't, this project to me is not workable. It doesn't make sense, and it's really, really riding off the coattails of Ripple and XRP, okay? They talk about, you know, they've got a core developers of Sologenic are researching developing systems on an ongoing basis. Well, if you look at the facts, they're not doing that. When you check out their GitHub, there's like 6 entries in there, and when you look at the source information in there, there's nothing there. So you know that this is not true. They're not doing that. There's no development whatsoever in terms of GitHub. And I mean, everything should be open source, so we should be able to see their development of GitHub, what they're doing in terms of the system and the project of Solo and its ecosystem, but they're actually not doing anything. Okay. Then they talk about burning Solo coins, and then they talk about applying other fees from XRP and everything else. So certainly the end client is going to be paying a lot of money to do anything with Solo's ecosystem. Okay. And again, it's not clear to how they do anything, right? Then they talk about CoinField, centralized exchange plays a crucial role in market making for Solo coins and provides enough liquidity to third-party exchange facilities for trading with Solo coins. That is not true as far as I'm concerned. CoinField is not well known, barely has any clients, has hardly any turnover, hardly any volume, and you know, it's going to be impossible for it to provide liquidity when it doesn't have any clients. Different if it was Binance or something like that, or Coinbase, it has 12 million clients, and Binance, it has 13 million clients. But again, this is just all tongue-in-cheek stuff. I don't believe a word of it, to be perfectly honest with you. It goes on to say CoinField's decentralized exchanges use XRP distributed ledger, protecting any exploitation. I mean, it might use XRP for its nodes and everything else in terms of reducing its malicious attacks, but it doesn't stop the fact that the decentralized exchange is not going to have barely any clients on it, and literally it's going to have no volume of clients. It's going to have no liquidity for the stock, for the token of Solo. Okay, so and again, as I said, what happens when the stock markets close? How do they provide proper stocks? And then it's introducing massive price and gapping risk for clients. Okay, then they talk about crypto credit cards. Crypto credit cards are everywhere. Okay, and then they talk about this monthly rebate cashback. How are they going to afford that when they've barely got any liquidity in the token of Solo? Okay, so again, they're trying to get you in. They're trying to suck you into this, just like MCO, Crypto.com, which I hated. I thought that was a joke as well. Trying to suck you in. There's a lot of projects where you've got crypto debit cards, crypto cards. They're a dime a dozen, seriously. And again, they're just trying to suck you in, right? And honestly, a crypto exchange that has to operate with rebated fees for the medium term, it's not sustainable. It's just gonna roll over and die. Okay, crypto exchanges cannot keep giving away fees because that's how they make their money, right? If you look at the ICO details and distribution, the end investor only received 30% of the issue, which is really low considering that Solo is supposed to be liquid. Okay, this is not consistent with what they say in the white paper, which is not audited. Okay, if they want liquidity, why is the overall issue, the end investor, only getting 30%, right? And I can't believe they actually valued this. It actually valued at 25 cents to US Tether. And again, I've got a problem with Tether as well, because US Tether is not equivalent to US dollars. It shouldn't be. Okay, it shouldn't be trading at 1 for 1. Tether honestly is issued by Tether Holdings, which is connected with Bitfinex, and it's been well known that Tether doesn't get audited, and they hold less than 70% in US dollars. Okay, so technically speaking, Tether should be at 0.7 to the US dollar. Again, this ICO, as far as I'm concerned, went really, really expensive, very high indeed, 25 cents, when it's higher than XRP itself. Went off the back of Ripple's technology. To me, it's just a joke that they got 25 cents for this ICO. I just cannot believe it, right? Even recently, this ICO happened. It's just a joke, man, a joke. The team is getting 35%. The investors are getting 30% for distribution. Community fund 20%, and expansion fund. Now that's a big figure for the team. 35%, huge, man. Obviously Vitzavin and those guys would have made a lot of money. Okay, considering the end investor only got 30%, that is just garbology, right? This is not going to make this token liquid, right? And the other team, everyone else got, so literally 70% of this is sitting with other holders. I mean, that is a joke. Okay, this is sitting in the community fund, and this is this token is not going to be liquid anyway. It's garbology, absolute garbology. Then they say, oh, we're going to burn some of the coin as well so that it's going to go up. I mean, again, that's a joke in itself. You shouldn't be burning coins just to make the price go up, okay? They don't even tell you what the criteria is for burning coins. I mean, another thing too, that's going to make things less liquid as well if you keep burning coins, right? They're doing it, to make the price go up. I mean, that's so they're basically, trying to, get you guys in and girls. So, let's burn the coins so the price goes up with a lack of supply. The point is, cryptocurrency should only be going up if there's utility and there's clients that are using it and the project is profitable. I cannot see this project being profitable at all. Whether they burn or whether they don't, this is not a profitable project. It's not going to work, and it's a joke that they're even saying burn the coin so that the price is going to go up. I mean, they're just trying to get your money in because they know that people in the cryptocurrency market are not very not very educated in terms of markets, and they're honestly trying to just suck you in, and this is just a joke, right? Really, it's a joke. The sale went on and actually the sale was just recently in February. I cannot believe they got away with this, seriously. If you look at the discounts, it was tiered down to get your money in. As I said, we don't know the circulating supply, we don't know how much is held by the big whales, but we can only assume that 70% is held by the, 35% is held by the team, and the rest is to the ecosystem. And we don't know whether there's lockup on these coins or not, okay? If there's not lockup on these coins, the team can sell these things at any time, and so can the community fund, and so can the expansionary fund, okay? Which is not great either, which is going to depress the price of this token, right? It's just a joke that it should be more expensive than XRP when it's got no clients, no revenue, no nothing, okay? Just a joke, absolute joke. It is riding off the back of Ripple's reputation, okay? So the team has got a 36-month lockup schedule. We don't get to see that schedule, which I have a big problem with, okay? So, what does it mean? What's the schedule? So they might be locked up for 36 months, but, what can they, release, say, 10%, in the next 6 months, or 15% in the next 2 years? Again, we should be able to see that schedule. These white papers have got to be more detailed. In professional markets, everything that's said in professional market prospectuses has to be outlined in absolute detail and signed off by the directors and by the chartered accountants, okay? And if you put your signature on anything and it's not correct, you can go to jail. I mean, this is not even clear, okay? Not even clear. Then they've got lockup for everyone else, right? They don't have any lockup for anyone else, right? But they're not telling you how much is locked up with the team, right? And and how that schedule's going to be, how it plays out, and they should be providing that, because you don't know what that means. It's a schedule. So what does it mean? Does it mean they can release 20% in the first 6 months, or what? And again, as I said, this feels like a cash grab to me, right? More than 70% is sitting out of 70% sitting with the team, and it's operations, and only 30% are sitting with the end investor. I mean, how can anything be liquid in that sense? Think about it. Just and it's on the back of XRP, okay? So here we go, vesting schedule. Okay, here we go. Here, 15%. That's not a very, so that means that now, what have we got now? April, May, they can sell, the team can sell 15% of their holdings, okay? 15%, what else is it, of 400 million, which is a lot, okay? 15% of 400 million. So they can sell that now, which is a fairly high structure. Normally it's not that high, okay? So 15%, just wondering if that's the whole, doesn't make sense. It's 15, 15, 20, 20, 30. It's not consistent at all, actually, when you look at it, because the team actually got 35%, and this is only 30%. See, even, you know, this should not be incorrect, okay? This should be spot on, and, you know, it just shows you how sloppy these white papers are. This should be 35%, not 30%. So, you know, a majority of it can be sold, you know, up to 18 months, you know, half within 3 months, which is a joke. And it doesn't give you the dates either. So generally when people can sell in the equity market, say a director or something, there's very specific dates to when they can sell, okay? Very specific dates, and we should know about that. But again, because the cryptocurrency market is not regulated, we get told nothing. What are these dates, you know? Is it the date from the ICO or what? You know, and in the equity market you get told very specific dates, okay? And you don't get told anything within these sloppy white papers because they're not audited. No one is accountable for this, you know. And again, as I said, in any other market, you sign a prospectus, you sign a bond, you know, a bond mandate or a bond proposal, or a prospectus, and you're on the line for it. You can go to jail for it, okay? Now, I do have a big problem with this liquidity providing reward program. Here we go. Solo, apparently the system is going to make a bid offer price in Solo Apple. You know, how do they do that when Apple's going to be closed on the weekend and Solo is supposedly open on the weekend through CoinField, right? How do you make a buy-sell spread when that market is closed, Apple market is closed, plus you've got the bid offer spread of Solo and the bid offer spread of Apple? Seriously, and Apple's closed on the weekend. This is not sensible at all, okay? It really isn't. You know, then it talks about this LPRP, Liquidity Provider Reward Program, 50% of all fees generated. I mean, how do the 50% of fees get generated? You know, who's gonna buy Apple on a cryptocurrency exchange when Apple is closed on the weekend? What price do they determine Apple as being? Seriously, you know, that's a joke, honestly. Absolute joke. You know, what price is it going to, you know, be against Solo? You know, there's going to be so many embedded costs in this bid offer spread, and honestly, it's going to introduce more cost to the end investor, whoever does this, and more risk to the end investor, okay? And again, how do they generate 50% of all their fees? I mean, that's, you know, garbology, absolute garbology. The liquidity pool, who's behind the liquidity pool? You know, is it a bank? No one's behind the liquidity pool except CoinField. And CoinField are not a liquid exchange. I mean, they barely do any turnover at all. You know, again, how are they going to make a market between Tesla on the weekend or XYZ? Then they're going to burn all their fees. You know, 50% of all fees generated. I mean, this is not workable at all. Okay, it's just not workable as far as I'm concerned. Honestly, it's just not workable. Then they connect Solo with XRP and basically say Solo's liquid because of XRP, which is not true, right? XRP's liquid, which is separate to Solo being liquid. Okay, absolute garbology. You know, and what's the spread between Solo and XRP? You know, again, we've got spreads between, say, Solo and Apple, or Solo and FX, and then we've got the spread between Solo and XRP. So we've got all these fees, all these bid offer spreads, you know, coming into play, and this is not realistic, okay? It is just not realistic. We don't know it doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, they're going to give away all their fees, okay, to get people to use CoinField. It's a very, very competitive market out there in terms of exchanges, okay? A lot of exchanges are going to fall over, and this is just not, it's not workable. Oh, and on top of that, they give you a crypto card. Big deal to get you in, okay? You know, they talk about various benefits of the card: monthly rebate, airport lounge access. Well, what airports we're talking about? Discount on select hotels, what are we talking about? And private events. Again, doesn't tell us anything. Big deal. I could say that you know, you get access to go and see the Queen. You know, I could tell you anything. You get access to see Madonna. You get access to see one of the latest rock stars. You know, oh, but who are they? We don't need to tell you that, because this is a white paper that comes from the cryptocurrency community. And, you know, we can say anything because we're not responsible for it. We don't have to sign off on it. We're not going to go to jail like you would go to jail, say, you know, in the bond market or the equity market. They can tell you anything, right? Anything. And there's so many gullible cryptocurrency investors out there that know nothing, that they get into this and buy this thing at 25 cents. It is a joke, man. It is a joke. And this is garbology. Absolute garbology. I mean, where are they going to get the money from, Sologenic, to offer 50% discount on trading fees, right? For traders, right? The exchange itself is not even making money, right? How are they going to do that? Seriously. Usability of the token is limited. Very small exchange, right? Not well known. Shocking, you know. It's in, you know, Estonia. Big deal, you know. Look at the other markets it's trading on, right? These exchanges are all about to fall over. Tiny markets, right? You know, look at the volume. Bugger all, okay? You know, for the life of me, I would not be on any of these exchanges. You know, look at HIT BTC, supposed to be a bigger exchange than these guys, and yet, you know, 38,000. You know, there's no way I would be having accounts with someone like Coinfield in Estonia. Just nutty. The liquidity is zero, you know, hardly anything. It's not liquid, full stop, and you're going to run the risk you can't even get out of the coin, right? Solo. Roadmap's poor, not detailed enough, completely not detailed enough, very, very poor. No investors and funding, poor GitHub, you know, it's got six, not even hardly anything. It's just a joke. Nothing's being done. Lots of competitors in this space, lots of competitors, lots of exchanges, lots of, you know, crypto cards. I mean, there's no unique advantage of this program. You know, the large exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange, the, you know, the CME, you know, the NASDAQ, you know, could easily, you know, include crypto, which they are. They're including Bitcoin futures and everything. I mean, it's just, the project is just garbology, I have to say, really. You know, the team's average, yes, it's got Vitsavind on there, who's really well known, great, but, you know, he would have been paid quite handsomely for this, given, you know, that 35% went to the team. But, you know, it's an average team. I've seen a much better team. No advisors. I've got a Coinfield exchange partnership, big deal, no acquisition. GitHub, extremely poor. Social media contacts, you know, average, very average. You know, you can increase your social media contacts. You just need to, you know, get an advertiser to increase them, and you pay for that. Very easy. I can even do that. I can get more on, you know, on YouTube by paying someone, you know, which I'm not going to do. You know, hardly, not much news, riding off the back of Ripple's reputation, seriously. Yes, I like the fact they use a ledger, great, but the ICO and the token is way too expensive. Most of the tokens not locked up. You know, the end team can sell within the first 3 months, you know, at least 15%. There's no liquidity, very poor exchanges, no liquidity whatsoever. Huge price risk between fiat markets and the crypto market, because the fiat markets are basically closed on weekend. Massive competition in terms of, you know, the fiat markets, and in terms of cryptocurrency exchanges. You can't give all your fees away. Every other crypto exchange is trying to do that. These guys are not licensed. They're not licensed with the Security Exchange Commission. They're effectively unlicensed. They have no turnover, no volume. They're pretty much undercapitalized. To me, the exchange could easily fall over. There's no circulating supply in Solo. We don't know what that is. You know, this introduces more price risk and volatility to the end investor and more costs. It does the opposite to what they're saying in their white paper, which is erroneous and not true. And, you know, they can say what they like, as I said, because white papers are not audited and signed. So no one runs the risk of going to jail or anything. You could say anything. Yes, we're going to offer you benefits with the crypto card. You can come and meet the Queen. You can meet the King. You can do anything, right? We're going to take you to Disneyland. Big deal. If people believe in this garbology, then seriously, they really, really need to get some education. Fair income. I wouldn't have paid 1 cent for this ICO. Not 1 cent. Fair income. The fact that it came out higher than XRP at 25 cents is a joke. Is a serious joke. You know, it talks about a coin field using external brokerage companies. We don't even know who they are, right? I mean, this is garbage, all garbage. You know, it talks about, you know, having a funding pool. You know, who's going to fund the pool? You know, it talks about having access to 25 global exchanges. It doesn't tell us who they are and how they're going to do it and how they're going to work out the price, the bid offer spread between Solo and Apple. You know, again, how are they going to work out that market when both markets operate at different times? You know, it talks about a liquidity pool. Who's the liquidity provider? You know, and giving away its fees and rewards. It's just garbology. It's not true. They don't give us any direct information about how this is going to be done and who's going to provide the liquidity, okay? There's not enough information. This white paper glosses over some of the vital details, and in my mind it is not workable, and this feels like an absolute cash grab off the coattails of Ripple's success and Ripple's reputation, because a lot of people know Ripple and obviously XRP. This has no utility as far as I'm concerned. The fact that they're burning coins to put the price up is a joke. As I said, the utility of coins, the coins should go up because of the utility and because the project is successful, okay? And if it's not any of those and it doesn't have clients or fees, then forget it. It's not successful, right? Undercapitalized, no GitHub, no clients, poor social media, huge price risk to clients. They could go direct to the stock market or the ETF markets. They could go to other exchanges directly with no extra costs. Lots of competitors. This is not unique. Any exchange or anyone could do this. Opportunities, I don't see any threats. Go to another exchange, cheaper, no barriers to entry. The large exchanges can do it. Interoperability between all the exchanges. For me, I rate this 1 to 2 out of 10. It is a cash grab. I don't like it. It was way too expensive. It's not workable. It's not practical. Introduces more risks to clients than anything. There's no comparative advantage, and I don't have any interest in this. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a project that is absolute garbage. And you know, the white paper is not detailed enough. Seriously. People should be made to sign off, and if they don't tell the end investor the right thing, they should go to jail, just like the fiat markets, okay? I wouldn't put 1 cent into this, guys, not 1 cent. It's way too expensive. The ICO is way too expensive, and you know, the price is still too expensive, and the risk is it'll just continue to go down as far as I'm concerned. No liquidity whatsoever. Thanks, guys. If you've got any questions, please do come back to me, and please look after yourself. Be kind to yourself, be kind to your family and friends, be kind to your beautiful parents, your beautiful putty cats, your beautiful animals, and just look after yourself in the world, just to make this a better place. Thank you very much, guys, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn this off. Oops.